Hey guys! Now I've heard it said that fun lunches come into our lives for a reason, and today I'm back for part 2 of Wicked themed lunches. I had so much fun making Wicked part 1 lunches, and I've got quite a few questions about if I was going to make a part 2. And guys, now that I've got Christmas lunches, Valentine's lunches, and birthday lunches out of the way, it's finally time. These lunches are going to be magical, colorful, and packed with foods inspired by the movie. But this time, I'm also going to be ranking all of the lunches. So stick around to see which lunch is officially crowned the most Scandilodious, and if any of them land in the Horrendible zone. Welcome to the Family Fudge. Now, I am making all of these lunches, but I have a couple of helpers to help with the sweet treats. In my last video, I started with a Glinda lunch, so this time we're starting with Elphaba. And of course, that means that this lunch is going to have a lot of green food. For the main course, I'm going to start by making a really fun and fresh veggie-packed sandwich. Now, instead of using mayo, I'm going to mix together a much more flavorful spread. I'm adding pesto and cream cheese together. This pesto is so tasty. It has garlic, it has Parmesan cheese, and of course, we love the green color. Now to this, I'm going to add even more green. I'm going to add a layer of spinach instead of lettuce. And then I always think mozzarella goes really well with pesto, so I'm gonna add a slice of that. But I'm gonna use my food writer pen to leave a special message just like the one that Elphaba added in the movie. Next, I'm going to add even more of that pesto cream cheese. And then for the top of the sandwich, I'm going to use more food writer pens and a sandwich stamp. So far, so good. I'm loving how the sandwich turned out, but I'm going to go ahead and take my food writer pen and color the hat in just a little bit more. And there you have it, guys, an Elphaba sandwich. And stay tuned because I have a lot more really fun and cute sandwiches on the way. Now moving on to the fruit and veggie, of course, you know I have to add some emerald green grapes. And then right next to that, I'm going to add lots of broccoli. To brighten up some of these sections, I'm going to cut out some cucumber stars. Instead of adding regular ranch to go with the veggies, I'm going to be adding some green ranch instead. Next, in this little section right over here, I'm going to add some edamame. My kids love this stuff, and it is the perfect shade for this lunch. Now, for another snack on the side, I'm going to be adding some of this green cheese. Now, don't be alarmed. I know this looks super sus, but this is actually some sage flavored cheese, and it usually comes out around St. Patrick's Day every year. I get this one at Aldi. I'm gonna go ahead and cut this into little cheese sticks. And now for a crunchy and spicy snack, I was able to find these special edition Wicked Talkies. These look like they're going to be extra spicy, so hopefully my kids will like them. And then over in this section, it is also looking a little bit dark. So to brighten it up, I'm going to add in some cheese stars. Now, originally for this sweet treat, I was gonna put in one of these special edition Wicked cupcakes. I love how green they are, but I have something better in mind. I do have a helper for this one. We're gonna make something similar to a Rice Krispie treat. I think that's the perfect way to use this really fun Wicked cereal. Kenzie and I are just going to make a single serve batch. If you've ever wanted a Rice Krispie treat but you didn't want to make a whole batch, then this is the perfect way to do it. In our little microwave safe measuring cup, we're adding 3/4 of a cup of mini marshmallows plus half a tablespoon of butter. Now I'm gonna go ahead and give that a good mix, and then Mackenzie's gonna pour in the cereal. Once that's all combined, we're just gonna dump it onto a plate, but we're not quite done yet. Instead of square shape, we're gonna make some Wicked clusters. And then last but not least, for the drink, I have two options. The first one is one of our favorite green smoothies, but then you guys, I was able to find this green melon flavored ramen soda. That bright green liquid in the glass bottle totally reminds me of the one that Elphaba holds on to in the movie that was her mother's. So before I send this lunch off with my daughter Mackenzie, it's time to rate it. And yes, this is the first lunch, but I really do think it turned out so fun. So I'm gonna go ahead and give it the highest mark of Scandilodious. It is so bad that it's good.
Before, after.
Now moving on to a Glinda themed lunch. Now friends, just like how I had the Elphaba lunch be very green, I'm going to have the Glinda lunch be very pink, although I do know that she does wear a blue dress in this movie as well. Starting with the main course, I'm going to put together a strawberry sandwich inspired by the ones that we had in Japan, except instead of using whipped cream, I'm gonna use strawberry cream cheese. Then for the strawberries themselves, I am gonna cut those into heart shapes. And before I add them to the sandwich, I am going to break each heart. And that's because in this movie, I really think that Glinda's heart gets broken by Fiero leaving her on her wedding day. So this might be a broken heart sandwich, but it's still going to be delicious. And then for this sandwich, I also made a very special stamp, but this time I'm going to use some pink food coloring to decorate the top. And friends, I always get questions about my sandwich stamps that I use in my videos. I do sell these in my Etsy store. If you're curious, I will have the link in the description box below. Now moving on to the fruit. I was hoping that this watermelon would be on the more pink side, but it is kind of red, but that's okay. I'm gonna go ahead and scoop these into melon balls, and that's because the bubble that Glinda flies around in the movies. Now for the veggie, I did have a hard time finding an actual pink one for this lunch, so instead I'm going to add some cucumbers because that's what my kids enjoy. But what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna cut them into crowns, similar but not exactly the same as the one that Glinda wears. And of course, to go with the veggies, I'm going to add some pink ranch. For a snack on the side, I'm going to add some salami wrapped up with cheese. I love these little swirls, although I'm gonna have to kind of really push them in there to fit. Next, I do want to add some yogurt, but not just any yogurt. I have a very fancy French style yogurt. This one is super thick. Of course, this one is strawberry and it is also very thick. So I'm gonna have to mix it up quite a bit. And now since Glinda does love things that are over the top and fancy, I found the perfect sprinkles to decorate the top of our yogurt. These sprinkles come in so many fun shapes. First, I'm gonna add some more crowns and of course, more pink bubbles. And stay tuned, you guys, because I have a very special pink bubble sweet treat coming in just a second. But before I can do that, I wanted to add in these Glinda themed Takis. And unlike the Elphaba ones, these ones are supposed to be sweet and not spicy. It says they are cinnamon sugar flavored. Now, unfortunately, as you can see, these Takis are actually not pink at all. I'd say they're more of a beige color, and I just don't think that beige and Glinda go together. So I'm gonna go ahead and kick out the Takis, and instead, I have some of these pink heart-shaped veggie chips left over from Valentine's Day that I think will be perfect. Now for the sweet treat, I wanna make something that looks like the bubble that Glinda flies around in. So I'm gonna make some Oreo cookie balls. I'm also using some pink melting chocolate. I've never used this before, but I got some of this edible shimmer dust in pink. Now to make this easy, I'm gonna use my food processor, but if you don't have one of these, you could just crush up your cookies in a Ziploc bag. So now that I have no clumps left, it's time for the cream cheese. Now I'm adding about half a block of cream cheese. I have made these in the past with less cream cheese and they came out kind of dry and crumbly. You want it to kind of look like this. You want it to be scoopable. And of course you want to be able to roll it into a ball. Now these are going to need to chill out in the fridge for about 20 minutes. Then to dip these in, I'm gonna use some pink chocolate. And you guys, the last time I used pink chocolate, it did not turn out well. So I'm crossing my fingers. I'm gonna melt this nice and slow in my microwave, and I'm gonna stir it in between each time. And to make sure that these balls aren't coated too thickly, I'm also gonna add a little bit of coconut oil to sort of thin out the chocolate a bit. So now that my cookie balls are nice and chilled, I'm going to dip them one at a time, and I'm gonna make sure to shake off any excess chocolate. Now that I have all of these dipped, they're gonna go back into the fridge to harden up, and then it's gonna be time for that edible glitter. And check this out, you guys, it's kind of like a dry shampoo. And of course, when it comes to glitter, I always think more the better. Ah, that's a lot. Oh, it looks so pretty. I like it. And check it out, you guys. I love how these turned out. I definitely think that Glinda herself would find these Scandilodious. And then finally, for the drink, I have something very magical in mind. First, I'm going to add a small bottle of milk, but to go along with it, I have some magic milk straws. And of course, these are the strawberry ones. And basically, as you're drinking the milk through the straw, it turns the milk into pink strawberry milk, which is the perfect way to end this lunch. Now friends, before I hand this over to my daughter Lily, we do have to give it a ranking. Now I have to say, I do love how this turned out. It is pretty, it is pink, and it's probably popular. But because I wasn't able to get all of the foods to be pink, I don't think it's gonna take the #1 space from the Elphaba lunch. I'm going to give this lunch a B ranking for being brilliantable. Another fun Aussian word. I do think this lunch is really cute, but I don't think it's better than the Elphaba lunch.
Before, after.
Next up, we're gonna make a Fiero lunch. Now, this next one is going to be super cute and fun. If you don't already know, Prince Fiero does eventually turn into the Scarecrow. And because of that, this lunch is going to have a very strong Scarecrow theme with a lot of wheat and straw colored foods. And speaking of wheat and straw, instead of the regular bread that I normally use, I'm gonna go ahead and use this honey wheat bread instead. And for the filling, I decided to go with peanut butter. Because did you guys know that peanut butter is actually considered a brain food? So I think this is a perfect filling for a Scarecrow themed lunch. This is going to be a triple layered sandwich. And to sweeten it up just a bit, I'm going to add some golden honey to both layers. And then you guys, to decorate the top, of course, I have a very special sandwich stamp. But instead of just writing Fiyero, I'm gonna write Fiero, similar to the way that Elphaba sings it in the movie, although her version's a lot more dramatic. Now moving on to the fruit, I decided to get some of this Brainiac applesauce. Again, perfect to go with the Scarecrow theme. And then to go along with that, I'm going to add some corn. But instead of regular corn, I thought it'd be really fun to add in some baby corn. My son Griffin was just asking me about what this corn was and if you could eat the whole thing. He's never tried it before. So I thought this would be a fun time to use it. To go along with this, I'm also adding some baby carrots. And this time, instead of adding ranch, I'm going to add some golden hummus instead. Now for more fruit, I do want to add some pineapple. That vanilla yogurt plus the pineapple should be such a delicious combination. And then guys, for some added protein, I did go ahead and boil up some hard-boiled eggs, and for this one, I went ahead and added it to my egg mold. This was supposed to be a star shape. I'm gonna go ahead and cut it in half and just add a little bit of salt to each piece. Next, for a salty and crunchy snack on the side, I picked up a bag of these bugles. Now, originally I was thinking that these would look just like the Scarecrow's hat, but it looks like in the movie, the Scarecrow doesn't actually have much of a pointy hat. It's more of like a straw bucket hat. So I'm gonna go ahead and break the tips off of each one of these before I add them in. Now, keeping with our Scarecrow theme, we're gonna make some haystack cookies. But you guys, these are a no-bake treat and they're so easy. We're gonna start by melting some butterscotch chips in the microwave, and this is an entire 11-ounce bag. Now at this point, Lily can go ahead and add in the peanut butter. This is half a cup of creamy peanut butter. Once those are combined, we'll add in 1 cup of roasted peanuts and an entire bag of chow mein noodles. Now these are supposed to go in like chicken salads, but they are perfect for this treat. Now that I have it all mixed together, Lily and I are just going to scoop out little haystacks onto a baking sheet. And just for fun, you guys, I do have some Elphaba sprinkles that I want to add. These are so cute. They have little witches' hats in them and other green sprinkles. And we're just gonna add a few of these because we know Fiero loves Elphaba. And now to finish off this lunch, you know I have to go with some good old apple juice. Honestly, this turned out way better than I thought it would. I love how all the colors go together. I especially love the hat-shaped chips and the haystack treats, especially with the Elphaba sprinkles on top. I'm gonna give this one an A for accomplified, another Aussian word. I definitely like this one better than the Glinda lunch, but I still don't love it more than the Elphaba one.
Before? After.
And now guys, it's time to head somewhere over the rainbow with a Dorothy themed lunch. I love that in Wicked Part 2, you can actually see a little bit of Dorothy, and you guys have to check out this adorable picture. This is baby Lily dressed as Dorothy on her 2nd birthday. I love it. Now friends, since I love the whole aesthetic of Dorothy's dress, I'm going to attempt to make a sandwich that looks like that blue gingham pattern. Now since Dorothy is from Kansas, I wanted to make a very classic American style sandwich, but some of my kids are not fans of mayo, so instead I'm going to be using ranch. Next, I'm adding some ham, and then of course, some good old American cheese. And just like the Fiero sandwich, this is going to be a triple decker. This one's going to my oldest son, so he's gonna need a bit more food. For the dress itself, I do have a stamp. So I'm gonna go ahead and start with that. Then to get more details here, I'm going to need to use my food writer pen. I don't know, you guys, what do you think? Does it look like a gingham dress or not? This is actually a lot harder than I thought. I still think it's cute, but next time I might do it differently. Now moving on to the fruits and veggies, this lunch is gonna have 2 different types of rainbow. And now I'm gonna need to add some carrots first just to hold the base. Next, I'm adding some cherry tomatoes. Then for the green, I'm going to add some cucumber sticks. Then I have just enough space here to add in some pineapple for the yellow. I wanted to add in something that would resemble a yellow brick road. So to do this, I'm gonna go ahead and add some of these cheese cubes. I'm going to try to arrange these in a brick pattern as best I can. Then you guys, on the side, I have some really fun additions. First, to represent the twister, I thought it would be really fun to add in some of these twisted chips. These really do look like a little tornado. And then right next to that, I'm going to add in some animal crackers. But I want this to represent the lion, so I'm going to try to pick out as many lion crackers as I can. Then, to represent the Tin Man, I'm going to add some Hershey Kisses, but only the silver ones. These really do look a lot like the Tin Man's hat. And now, you guys, for the sweet treat, I'm going to make some over-the-rainbow Munchkin muffins. And of course, I'm starting with some Munchkin-sized muffins. These ones happen to be blueberry flavored. And this is so easy. All I'm gonna do is swirl on a little bit of vanilla frosting. Then I'm gonna take some of this Airhead rainbow candy. I'm gonna cut each strip in half, and I'm gonna place it right on top of the cupcake to make a rainbow. These are so easy, so cute, and they would be perfect for St. Patrick's Day too. And there you have it, guys. I tried to pack in as much Wizard of Oz theming as I possibly could. Now this one is very hard for me to rank. I love the sweet treat, those Munchkin muffins with the rainbow candy. It's so cute. I don't think this lunch deserves Horrendible. I think I'm gonna go ahead and give this one a B. I'd say it's pretty much tied with the Glinda lunch. So there you have it, guys. There is my ranking for these lunches, but I would love to know in the comments down below, which lunch did you think was the most Scandilodious, and which one did you find the most Horrendible? If you enjoyed this video, don't forget to like and subscribe.
Thanks for watching. See you next time.